Hello, everyone. I hope all of you are doing good. So, today we're going to discuss another important essay, and the topic is about employing equal number of men and women workers. So, the topic is whether it is a positive or a negative trend. Make sure you watch this video until the end because we are going to brainstorm the points, and also I have written a sample answer for this essay because you never know, you might get this topic in your examination. So let's begin. So first, let's read the question. Nowadays, some workplaces tend to employ equal numbers of men and women workers. Do you think it is a positive or a negative trend? So here the question they're trying to say is, in some offices or in some companies, they tend to recruit equal proportions of both the genders. So is such a trend positive or does it have a negative impact? Okay. So now why do you think some workplaces tend to even give women workers as much power as men? Because if you all know, we still live in a patriarchal society, and nowadays for gender equality and women empowerment, many companies recruit equal proportions of both the genders. So what is a patriarchal society? Patriarchal society is a cultural system where men hold the power, authority, and dominance over women. That is why nowadays women also are fighting for their rights for gender equality. And that is why the topic of women empowerment is spoken around the world. So many want to prove that women are not the weaker gender and they are as capable as males. Okay, so let's first discuss the structure of the essay. So there's going to be an introduction paragraph. There are going to be three body paragraphs and conclusion. So in the introduction paragraph, you will write a general statement. You will paraphrase this question and you will give your opinion whether it is a positive or a negative trend. In B1 and B2, it will be your opinion whether it is positive. So if you think it is more of a positive, you will write positive. However, some people think it is a negative trend and write a refute paragraph. If you think it is a negative trend, two paragraphs you'll write negative, and one paragraph you will write about the positives, stating that some other people think that because you think it is a negative trend. And you will write the conclusion. That is, you'll wrap up everything and write in the concluding paragraph. I think when you read the sample answer, you will get an idea of how to write the essay. Before that, let's brainstorm and think about the positives or the pros and cons of having such a situation at the workplace. Okay, so I have written the pros and the cons. First, let's go through the pros, that is the positives. The first one is it gives equal opportunity to both the genders because we used to live in a patriarchal society. Women were not even given the opportunity. So, by having or by employing or by reserving certain positions for women, we are breaking the shackles and breaking the mindset of the people, and such a reservation becomes really important. So it gives equal opportunities because in the past, opportunities itself were not provided to women. The second is increased profitability and performance. because of greater gender diversity. So it brings about better financial results and higher profitability among companies, and this has been proved by Harvard research. I have included that research in my essay answer, so we'll go through that in detail later. The next point is improved talent acquisition. Because of a wider pool of talent and because of diverse skill sets. That means males have a particular skill set, whereas females are better in something else. And because of that, there is a balance in the skills of the people in a particular company. The next is better customer understanding. Because there are diverse sets of people, there are women as well as males in the company, and there are a lot of innovative ideas that are given, and hence it helps in better customer understanding. And the next point is positive impact on the company culture. That means because there are women as well, it promotes respectful and an inclusive work environment for the people. And it also improves the brand image and the reputation of the company. So these are the certain pros of having equal reservations for both male as well as female. Now let's go through the cons. Cons means negatives. So the first one is increased competition for limited position. So a company would have very limited position, and now both males and females, they are competing against each other. And since only limited seats are available for males and limited for females, there would be greater competition. The next is a very important point. There are certain jobs that are suited only for a particular gender. Like, for example, mining or laborious work is better handled by male because of the way that they are built. And in hospitality industry or in the industry like of nursing or taking care of people or empathy is better shown by females. So if there is a reservation for a particular gender, it could jeopardize the work quality. Jeopardize means put it in danger. The next point is gender equality should not be defined by equal number of positions for both genders, but the best candidate for the job should be chosen irrespective of the gender. So the gender should not even be considered, but equal opportunities should be given to both the gender, and in that way gender equality could be defined. That is why some people are saying that don't reserve position, select the best candidates for the job. And the fourth point is potential increase in conflict. So if there are equal number of women in the position, there could be a difference of opinion and an increase in conflict. So these are the gist of what you could include. Now you have to either choose positive or either choose negative and write in the essay. You can choose either because it is your opinion and you have the right to express your points, but make sure it is morally right. Okay, now let's go through the sample answer. Okay, so the first is my introduction paragraph. We have lived in a patriarchal society where men historically held primary position in moral authority, social privilege, and superiority at the workplace. Because in the past it was considered that women are homemakers, they should take care of the home, whereas men should go out and work. Hence, in order to reduce gender bias and to promote women empowerment, many companies now recruit same number of men and women workforce. I believe it is a Now here I have written positive slash negative because I'm giving you the opportunity to choose whether it is a positive trend or a negative trend. You can write your opinion. So here I have written positives of reservation as two paragraphs and then negative, but you can choosing such a reservation has a negative trend and you can write first two paragraphs on negative, third paragraph on positive and conclusion. It's up to you. So here I believe it's a positive trend. So here I have written a general statement. I have written the paraphrasing of the question and I have written my opinion. So I have written all the things that is necessary in the introduction paragraph. Now let's go to the body paragraph. The main reason supporting my view is that, so the teacher will know that, oh, you're writing it on positives. Even today, we live in a society of social conditioning and indirectly have a patriarchal mindset. Gender equality isn't just about balancing opportunities for men and women, it also includes breaking down stigmas, and hence such a reservation becomes vital. So, even if we say that we are in the 21st century and we are open minded, but indirectly we still have a patriarchal mindset. So, by providing such an opportunity, women will be employed and they will be given equal opportunities to shine and to show their potential. Because if there is no reservation, they might not even be recruited by the company. The next point. So before writing the next point, I will use a linker. I have used moreover, followed by a comma. It has been noted that in companies that promote equal employment, the company performs better financially and has increased profitability. So I've written the point and now I will support that point. For instance, a research by Harvard shows that companies in the top 25% for gender diversity are 27% more likely to outperform their national industry average in terms of profitability. So either you have to write an example or you have to use a research to support your answer in the essay. So I have not made up this research. It is a true research. Okay, the next point. Now I should have practically written this and this as a single paragraph. So this will be my B2. But just so that it is easier for your eyes to read the answer, I have divided it into two paragraphs. Okay. Moreover, it fosters an inclusive culture and improves talent acquisition. So, so I've written the point. Now I'm going to explain the point. By embracing gender parity, that is gender equality, it enables organizations to attract a broader range of skilled professionals, which is critical in a competitive hiring market. So, with wider pool of talent, the company has diverse skill sets and diverse perspectives, which accelerates creative problem solving and drives product innovation. So, by having a diverse skill set, it has all these positives, and that is why it is mandatory or it is pivotal that we have gender parity. Furthermore, it has a positive impact on company culture as it promotes respectful and inclusive workspace. The employees naturally become more heedful and sensitive to other employees. In simpler words, a fair and equitable balance between all genders ensure that the work environment is healthy. Not only this, it also improves the brand image and reputation. that the company promotes equality and also supports women empowerment. Okay, now we are going to B3, which is on the other hand. Now, I've written the on the other hand as a really long paragraph because imagine this is your supporting view. You support negativity, then like a negative impact, then you have to write this more. That is why I've written this as a huge paragraph. On the other hand, there are some pitfalls of employing equal proportions of both the genders. Firstly, in certain jobs, a particular gender is more suited for the position because of the innate skill sets that they possess. Innate means inborn skills. Therefore, by recruiting equal numbers of both the genders, it could jeopardize the work quality. I've now written this point. Now, how will it jeopardize the work quality? I have explained. To illustrate, it has been noted that men perform better in laborious work and in mining industry because of the way they are built. And women outperform men in jobs that involve caregiving and in the hospitality sector. Therefore, gender equality cannot be replicated in all the sectors. It is not possible. That is why I'm saying it is a negative trend. Besides this, gender equality does not mean equal number of male and female in a particular company. The best suited candidate should be chosen irrespective of the gender. So if for a particular job, women are more suited, more number of women should be chosen. And if men are suited for a particular job, men should be chosen. So it should be dependent on the caliber of the person rather than the gender. Even if such a provision of equal employment is made, women still bear the disproportionate burden of unpaid care work, which limits the availability for full-time work and career progression. So, what happens is in many countries, women do or bear the burden of care of the children and the household responsibilities. So, because of that, it limits the availability for full time work and career progression. Therefore, the root cause of the problem needs to be dislodged or removed, or else the company suffers as the women would try to balance both personal and professional life. So, if the root cause of the problem is not removed, then women will not be able to perform well at their workplace because they are burdened with personal responsibilities as well as professional, and the company could suffer. Furthermore, there is a possibility of increase in conflict, not only because women and men could have contrasting thought processes, but also because women asserting themselves may be labeled as bossy and aggressive, whereas while men demonstrating the same traits are praised for leadership. So, this also could happen at the workplace. Now we're coming to the conclusion. Thus, to conclude, it is imperative. Imperative is essential, vital, critical, crucial that women be given equal opportunities as men. Because, in spite of the tremendous advancements we have been through, still women contributions are overlooked or undervalued due to unconscious bias about expertise and authority. So, because I have supported it is a positive trend, I have written this point. But if you say that there are more negatives, then you should say that recruitment should be made based on the potential of the person rather than based on the gender. Also, assumptions about women's commitment to work after having children remains. Therefore, reservation becomes vital, but not at the cost of work suffering. So I have supported saying that there should be reservation for women. Equal proportions of male and female should be employed because of better profitability and all the points that I mentioned before. But I am also saying that Reservation is vital, but not at the cost of work suffering. So if there is a place where work could suffer because of equal employment, it should not be done. But otherwise, generally in companies, it should be promoted. Hence, the best candidate for the job should be chosen with an open mindset. Because many a times people hesitate to employ females because they might get married and move away, or because they might have children and then they might not give their 100% at work. So the best candidate for the job should be chosen with an open mindset and turning a blind eye to the gender of the person. Because many people deliberately choose male professionals even if they are not as talented as the female, just because they could retain the person for longer periods of time than female. That should not be done. But the best person suited for the job should be chosen. So this is the essay. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please share it among your friends, and before your exam, make sure you go through all these essays, because you never know. You might get one of these essays and then it is better not to regret. God bless. I'm praying for each one of you. Thank you.